vote. Voted for Obama back in 2012. I remember that's when I had hope. He was saying, yes, we can. And everybody got less food stamps. And when I turned 21, I was still broke. I'd never vote again. I don't think I ever had a president make my life better. Did it all on my own. Ain't no politician ever do a nice gesture. I don't even know the mayor's name. I ain't never seen her one time ever. Tell me how she gonna help the city. What I'm supposed to do, write letters? What I'm supposed to do, blame Trump? He ain't never really gave a Ain't nobody raised minimum wage. None of these jobs pay enough. I think they just want to keep us broke, cause they ain't putting none in place for us. This how all my people feel, but we gotta learn. We complained enough, let me change it up. Everything I just said, everybody I know think the same way. See, they don't want to see us vote, and we never do, so we see the same thing. But all our votes really do count, and they'll never really let it show. So now I'm finna break it down, cause if I don't, you would probably never know. First thing first, you know back in middle school when they taught us, it was 3 branches of the government. We forgot it when we got older. It's the judicial, the legislative, and executive. But all we know is the executive. That's the mayor, or the governor, and the president. Now none of them 3 people make no laws, they just be checking them. The laws come to their desk and all they do is say no or yes to it. So when the news station tried to tell us that Barack Obama couldn't put us on, we was all salty at Obama when it was the Congress members all along. We gotta focus on the legislative branch, yeah, they the ones that make the laws. Yeah, they the ones write how much food stamp money you get on the card. But when people that wanted to help us wanted the job, I know they probably lost. Cause we ain't even know their name, we ain't know their face, we ain't know it all. So the Congress or the State House, that's legislative, they make laws. So what we want from the president is what they do, okay y'all? See, they election every 2 years, but we don't ever even go to those. The Congress, they can raise minimum wage, but we ain't even really know it though. So you know how back in 08, when we all voted for Obama, we was all supposed to go back in 2010 and vote for the Congress. Cause they the ones make child support laws, they the ones choose if your kids at school get to eat steak or corn dogs. The State House make the court costs. So if the country failed, then you can't say it's them, it's your fault. Cause y'all ain't know to vote for Congress members that was for y'all. And they don't gotta leave after 4 years, and we just let them sit. See, they don't wanna tell you this, they want you to focus on the president. Now the third branch is the judicial, that's judges. They the reason why John Crawford and Trayvon ain't had justice. So when Meek Mill got locked up just for popping willies, we blame the judge and not the city when they let her get voted in, cause they ain't know who to vote against. Imagine life on the other side. Roads better, schools better, everybody get their license back, grocery store food better, custody of your kids back, homeless people get new shelters. If we gon' fix the U.S., we gotta start with them 2 letters, me and you. Somebody told us that the government wanna keep us broke, but the only reason why those people in the government is cause we ain't vote. And I ain't talking about the president, I'm talking about the ones we ain't know. See, they was gonna try to keep it low, but it's gonna hurt them when they see the pros.
Every time you stay home, someone is making a decision about you, making decisions about the air you breathe, the water you drink, the food your kids eat, and how much money you bring home every 2 weeks. So every time you sit out an election, every time you don't show up because you think it doesn't matter, someone else is happy that you didn't show up, so they can make that decision for you. Vote.
Enough electoral votes, more than 270, more than enough to become the 44th President of the United States. He will be the first African-American President of the United States.
I've been broke all my life, but I kept hope all them nights. You see business in my city? Yeah, they closed all them twice. I was just riding down Salem, all them damn potholes, I can't drive. I know y'all can fix it faster, but I know y'all won't try. Don't nobody care about us. And that's why I don't vote. Voted for Obama back in 2012. I remember that's when I had hope. He was saying, yes, we can. And everybody got less food stamps. And when I turned 21, I was still broke. I'd never vote again. I don't think I ever had a president make my life better. Did it all on my own. Ain't no politician ever do a nice gesture. I don't even know the mayor's name. I ain't never seen her one time ever. Tell me how she gonna help the city. What I'm supposed to do, write letters? What I'm supposed to do, blame Trump? He ain't never really gave a Ain't nobody raised minimum wage. None of these jobs pay enough. I think they...
This episode of the Cab Grand Rising Show is brought to you by Autochthonous Assembly, where the real work gets done. For the first-time visitors who may be wondering who Autochthonous Assembly is, Autochthonous Assembly, or A2 for short, is a gathering of minds that do the work. A2 is a non-profit organization dedicated to raising up Indigenous Americans' voices by using genealogy, also known as family history or family tree. Genealogy is the study of families and the tracing of their lineages in history. Genealogists use oral interviews, historical records, genetic analysis, and other records to obtain information about a family and to demonstrate kinship and pedigrees of its members. Autochthonous Assembly's core values are the foundation of its company, essential to its success, and serves as the lens through which it evaluates every business decision. The core values are integrity, know and do what is right, respect, treating others the way you want to be treated, responsibility, embrace opportunities to contribute, servant leadership, serve the common good. Along with a key emphasis on genealogy, A2 is also committed to providing our communities with information and access to available grants and funding through the Department of Housing and Urban Development, the United States Department of Agriculture, the Farm Service Agency, and other departments and agencies that offer programs to help them become self-sufficient. Building on a strong community reputation, Autochthonous Assembly continues to strengthen the growth of the relationship and development of our communities. Peace and Grand Rising.
Warning, warning, warning. Hard hats, pickaxe, shovels, boots required.
1. Peace, peace, peace. Greetings to the chat. Hope all is well.
Peace, everybody. Can I be heard?
Loud and clearly.
Peace, 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 peace. Grand evening.
You know it. Just coming back this evening again, like we have did for the last 2 days, going through civics and basically the different departments of government and how it works. So moving forward, people will have a better understanding on what departments and what branches you should be going to get your issues addressed. And basically get rid of all the misinformation about what is government and how it works and what's the mechanisms behind it.
All right.
Give me 10 seconds, finna grab this link and post it in all the chats. All right, got the links in the chat. I'm gonna pull it up on screen. All right, got it on screen. We'll start with local governments in the United States. Local government in the United States refers to a governmental jurisdiction below the level of the state. Most states and territories have at least 2 tiers of local government, counties and municipalities. In some states, counties are divided into townships. There are several different types of jurisdictions at the municipal level, including the city, town, borough, and village. The types and nature of these municipalities, of these municipal entities vary from state to state. Many rural areas and even some suburban areas of many states have no municipal. In other places, consolidated city-county jurisdictions exist, in which city and county functions are managed by a single municipal government. In places like New England, towns are the primary unit of local government, and counties have no governmental function, but exist in purely perfunctory capacity, e.g. for census data.
The census.
In addition to general purpose local governments, there may be local or regional special purpose local governments, such as school districts and districts for fire protection, sanitary sewer service, public transportation, public libraries, public parks, or forests or water, resource management. Such special purpose districts often encompasses areas in multiple municipalities. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, data collected in 2012, there were 89,004 local government units in the United States. This data shows a decline from 89,476 units since the last census of local governments performed in 2007. Depending on the state, local governments may operate under their own charters or under general law, or a state may have a mix of chartered and general law local governments. Generally, in a state having both chartered and general local law governments, the chartered local governments have more local autonomy and home rule. Just a brief understanding on local governments. Any questions so far? No sellout before we go further?
Nope, not for me. I'm good. Actually, hold on. Let me just pull up the chat. Peace to, what was this? We got Ohio Player, PG's and Pope, Michael Brown, Harris Cheek, peace. Peace to the chat. And I know Gabrielle said she'll be on the way soon, so peace to her too.
No problem. Next up is history, a little history on local governments in the United States. It states, when North America was colonized by Europeans from the 17th century onward, there was initially little control from governments back in Europe. Many settlements began as shareholders or stockholder business. Many settlements began as shareholder or stockholder business enterprises. And while the King of Britain had technical sovereignty, in most instances, full government authority was vested in the company itself. Settlers had to fend for themselves. Compact towns sprung up based on legal corporations, in which has been described as pure democracy. It says the people, owing to the necessity of guarding against the Indians and wild animals, and to their desire to attain the same church, settled in small compact communities or townships, which they called towns. The town was a legal corporation. The town was a legal corporation, was the political unit, and was represented in general court. It was a democracy of the purest type. Several times a year, the adult males met in town meetings to discuss public questions, to lay taxes, to make local laws. The town was, sorry about that. It was a democracy of the purest type. Give me 1 second.
Overall, I'm trying to find it right now. All right, we had several times a year, the adult males met in town meeting to discuss public questions, to lay taxes, to make local laws, and to elect officers. The chief officers were the select men, right? Select men from the 3 to 9 in number, who should have the general management of the public business, the town clerk, treasurer, constables, assessors, and the overseers of the poor. To this day, the town government continues in a large measure in some parts of New England. Historian Henry William Elson, writing in 1904.
Okay, I'm back. We can see already these are companies, these towns, but put a pin in that. You said you wrote the quote, you just got finished reading the quote, right?
Yep.
Okay. We have proprietary men voted in no colonies was their universal suffrage. The founding of the Massachusetts Bay Colony in 1629 by a group of Puritans led by John Winthrop came with the understanding that the enterprise was to be based in the New World rather than in London. small towns in Massachusetts were compared to city-states, and a somewhat oligarchic form, but an oligarch based on perceived virtue rather than wealth or birth. The notion of self-government became accepted in colonies, although it wasn't totally free from challenges. In the 1670, the Lords of Trade and Plantations, a royal committee regulating sorry about that. Where I left off at. Okay, found it. 1670s, the Lords of Trade and Plantations, a royal committee regulating mercantile trade in the colonies, tried to annul the Massachusetts Bay Charter. But by 1691, the New England colonies had reinstated their previous governments. Voting was established as a precedent early on. In fact, one of the first things that Jamestown settlers did was conduct an election. Typically, voters were white males described as property owners, aged 21 and older. So voting was established as a precedent early on. In fact, one of the first things that Jamestown settlers did was conduct an election. Typically, voters were white males described as property owners, aged 21 and older, but sometimes the restrictions were greater. And in practice, persons able to participate in elections were few. Women were prevented from voting, although there were a few exceptions, and hashtags African Americans were excluded. The colonists never thought of themselves as subservient, but rather as having a loose association with authorities in London. Representatives governing government sprung up spontaneously in various colonies, and during the colonial years, it was recognized and ratified by later charters. But the colonial assemblies passed few bills and did not conduct much business, but dealt with a narrow range of issues in legislative sessions last weeks. Sorry about that again. But the colonial assemblies passed few bills and did not conduct much business, but dealt with a narrow range of issues, and legislative sessions lasted weeks, occasionally longer. And most legislators could not afford to neglect work for extended periods. So wealthier people tended to predominate in local legislatures. Office holders tend to serve from a sense of duty and prestige and not for financial benefit. The statement saying campaigning by candidates was different from today's. There was no mass media or advertising. Candidates talked with voters in person, walking the line between undue familiarity and aloofness. Prospective office holders were expected to be at the polls on election day and made a point to greet all voters. Failure to appear or to be civil to all could be disastrous. In some areas, candidates offered voters food and drink, even-handedly giving treats to opponents as well as supporters. Ed Cruz. Goes on to state, taxes were generally based on real estate. Since it was fixed in place and plainly visible, its value was generally well known, and revenue could be allocated to the government unit where the property was located. After the American Revolution, the electorate chose the governing councils in most every American municipality, and state governments began issuing municipal charters. During the 19th century, many municipalities were granted charters by the state government and became technically municipal corporations. Townships and county governments and city councils shared most of the responsibility for decision-making, which varied from state to state. As the United States grew in size and complexity, decision-making authorities for issues such as business regulation, taxation, environmental regulation moved to state governments and the national government, while local governments retained control over such matters as zoning issues, property taxes, public parks. The concept of zoning originated in the U.S. during the 1920s, according to one source in which state law gave certain townships or other local governing bodies authority to decide how land was used. A typical zoning ordinance has a map of a parcel of land attached with a statement specifying how that land could be used, how buildings can be laid out, and so forth. Zoning legitimacy was upheld by the Supreme Court in its, Euclid versus Ambler decision. Or Ulysses versus Ambler. Give me 1 second.
Don't give me the line. I'm driving. Peace to everybody listening. Questions, comments, concerns, and/or corrections, please email townships@gmail.com.
All right, I'm back. Moving on to types. The 10th Amendment to the United States Constitution makes local government a matter of state rather than federal law, with special cases for territories in the District of Columbia. As a result, the states have adopted a wide variety of systems of local government. The United States Census Bureau conducts the census of governments every 5 years to compile statistics on government organizations, public employment, and government finances. The categories of local government established in this census of government is a convenient basis for understanding local government in the United States. The categories are as follows. County governments, town or township governments, municipal governments, special purpose governments. County governments. County governments are organized local governments authorized in state constitutions and statutes. Counties and county equivalents form the first tier administrative division of states. All the states are divided into counties or county equivalents for administrative purposes. Although not all counties are county equivalents, have an organized county government has been eliminated throughout Connecticut and Rhode Island, as well as in parts of Massachusetts. The unorganized borough in Alaska also does not operate under a county level government. Additionally, a number of independent cities and consolidated city counties operate under municipal governments that serve the functions of both city and county in areas lacking a county government. Services are provided either by lower level townships or municipalities or the states. Can someone catch us on the municipality government, municipal government? I mean, my jump down too far. Town and township governments we on right now. Someone can pick up from there.
I got it.
All right.
Town or township governments. Town or township governments or organized local governments authorized in the state constitutions and statutes of 20 northeastern and midwestern states, established to provide general government for a defined area, generally based on the geographic subdivision of a county, generally based on the geographic subdivision of a county. Depending on state law and local circumstance, a township may or may not be incorporated, and the degree of authority over local government services may vary greatly. Towns in the 6 New England states and townships in New Jersey and Pennsylvania are included in this category by the Census Bureau. Despite the fact that they are legally municipal corporations, since their structure has no necessary relation to concentration of population, which is typical of municipalities elsewhere in the United States. In particular, towns in New England have considerably more power than most towns elsewhere and often function as legally equivalent to cities, typically exercising the full range of powers that are divided between counties, townships, cities in other states. I didn't know that. Learn something new every day. An additional dimension that distinguishes township governments from municipalities is the historical circumstance surrounding their formation. For example, towns in New England are also defined by a tradition of local government presided over by town meetings, assemblies open to all voters to express their opinions on public policy. The term town is also used for a local level of government in New York and Wisconsin. The term town and township are used interchangeably in Minnesota. Municipal governments. Municipal governments or organized local governments authorized in state constitutions and statutes, established to provide general government for a defined area, generally corresponding to a population center rather than one of a set of areas into which a county is divided. The category includes those governments designated as cities, boroughs, except in Alaska, towns except in Minnesota and Wisconsin, and villages. This concept corresponds roughly to the incorporated places that are recognized in Census Bureau reporting of population and housing statistics. Although the Census Bureau excludes New England towns from the statistics for this category, and the count of municipal governments excludes places that are governmentally inactive. Municipalities range in size from the very small, ergo the village of Monowi, Nebraska, with only one resident. What? Okay. To the very large, ergo New York, with about 8.5 million people.
Hold on, did you say one resident?
Yeah, one resident in Monowi, Nebraska, but 8.5 million people in New York. They're talking about the city?
The city, yeah, there's 8.5 million people in the city, not the state, the city, yes. Mm-hmm.
In the city. We're talking this.
Yes. In the city, in the 5 boroughs of New York, the total population is 8.5 million. Yes,
that is
correct.
A lot.
Stacked on top of each other. The
yes.
jungle. High rises.
Man.
A lot of people cramped into a small space.
Yeah.
But then there's social experiments on that, on what that do to you as well. But that's another topic for another day.
Yes, it is.
I'll keep reading. One resident, okay, it goes from 1 to 8.5. That's a huge, drastic, example. You know what? Okay, I'm reading. And this is reflected in the range of types of municipal governments that exist in different areas. So if it's only one resident, is there like no rule? I mean, is the same
That's a
person
good
the
question.
judge, the sheriff, the
Well, last man on
council, the
the
mayor, the voter, the
what they buy a ghost
I second this. Aye.
town? Be like, nay. Well, who said that? It was you. You did it by yourself.
Oh no. Okay.
Who just answered that? It was you. First of all, who was you? I didn't vote for no you.
Oh my goodness. One resident.
I want one resident.
Okay. In most states, county and municipal governments exist side by side. Exist side by side. There are exceptions to this. However, in some states, a city can, either by separating from its county or counties or by merging with one or more counties, become independent of any separately functioning county government and function both as a county and as a city. Depending on the state, such a city is known as either an independent city or a consolidated city-county. A consolidated city-county differs from an independent city in that in a consolidated city-county, the city-county both normally exist, although they have consolidated government, whereas in an independent city, the county does not even normally exist. Does not even normally exist. Such a jurisdiction constitutes a county equivalent. It is analogous to a unitary authority in other countries. That's countries? Okay, yeah, other countries. In Connecticut, Rhode Island, and parts of Massachusetts, counties exist only to designate boundaries for such state-level functions as part districts or judicial offices. Massachusetts. In the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, there are 78 municipalities and no counties. Didn't know that either. Municipal governments
It's almost like annex areas
okay.
to where they annex to another like a municipality, or even how you see like cities, how a city own a particular area in a whole nother city because they got annexed to them.
Yes. Okay. Municipal governments are usually administratively divided into several departments, depending on the size of the city. Special purpose local governments, school districts. School districts are organized local entities providing public elementary and secondary education, which, under state law, have sufficient administrative and fiscal autonomy to qualify as separate governments.
Say what? Mm-hmm.
Apparently so. It's in print. The category excludes dependent public school systems of county, municipal, township, or state governments, ergo school divisions. Gotcha. Special districts. Special districts are all organized local entities other than the four categories listed above, authorized by state law to provide designated functions as established in the district's charter or other founding documents, and with sufficient administrative and fiscal autonomy to qualify as separate governments, known by a variety of titles, including districts, authorities, boards, commissions, etc. As specific in the enabling state legislation, a special district may serve areas of multiple states if established by an interstate compact. Special districts are widely popular have enjoyed phenomenal growth and nearly tripled in number from 1957 to 2007.
I know it's a little bit early in what we're reading, but why does it seem to me having constitution and bylaws give you some type of autonomy?
Yeah. So on interstate compact, just reading, what little pop-up box. It says in the United States, an interstate compact is a pact or agreement between two or more states or between states and any foreign government. The compact clause of the United States Constitution provides that no state shall, without the consent of Congress, enter into an agreement.
Like tri-state insurance with three states combined together to run an insurance plan.
Okay. Councils or associations of governments. It is common for residents of major U.S. metropolitan areas to live under 6 or more layers of special districts, as well as a town or city, and a county or township. In turn, a typical metro area often consists of several counties, several dozen towns or cities, and 100 or more special districts. In one state, California, the fragmentation problem became so bad that in 1963, the California legislature created local agency formation commissions in 57 of the state's 58 counties. That is, government agencies to supervise the orderly formation and development of other government agencies. One effect of all this complexity is that victims of government negligence occasionally sue the wrong entity and do not realize their error until the statute of limitation has run against them.
Wasn't we talking about that the other day about knowing the proper branches you need to take your complaints to?
Yep.
And can you see the importance? Because it starts on this, it is common for residents of major U.S. metropolitan areas to live under 6 or more layers of special districts. You know how many different laws and rules and regulations that is? Mm-hmm. Who knows all of them? Show me a person that's walking around that knows every last one.
Not I.
So if you know the law to just one of the districts, you still got like 6, 7, 8, 9 more to go. And not to mention they change every time you change districts. Oh, man.
Do you know where you live?
You better find that.
Man. Because efforts at direct consolidation have proven futile, U.S. local government entities often form councils of governments, metropolitan regional councils, or associations of governments. These organizations serve as regional planning agencies and as forums for debating issues of regional importance, but are generally powerless relative to their individual members. Since the late 1990s, a movement frequently called New Regionalism accepts the futility of seeking consolidated regional governments and aims instead for regional structures that do not supplement local governments. Dillon's rule. Unlike the relationship of federalism that exists between the United States government and the states in which power is shared, municipal governments have no power except what is granted to them by their states. This legal doctrine, called Dillon's rule, was established by Judge John Forrest Dillon in 1872 and upheld by the U.S. Supreme Court in Hunter versus Pittsburgh, 207 U.S. 161, 1907. Okay, Hunter versus Pittsburgh, 207 U.S. 161, 1907 is a landmark case that established the supreme sovereignty of a state over its municipalities. John Forrest Dillon was an attorney in Iowa and New York, a justice of the Iowa Supreme Court, and a United States Circuit Court judge of the United States Circuit Courts for the Eighth Circuit. He authored a highly influential treatise on the power of states over municipal governments. Okay, which was upheld the power of Pennsylvania to consolidate the city of Allegheny into the city of Pittsburgh. Despite the wishes of the majority of Allegheny residents. In effect, state governments can place whatever restrictions they choose on their municipalities, including merging municipalities, controlling them directly, or abolishing them outright, as long as such rules don't violate the state's constitution. However, Dillon's rule does not apply in all states of the United States because some state constitutions provide specific rights for municipalities and counties.
Hold on, you mean that states have different constitutions and they can run themselves completely different?
It's in their constitution and bylaws.
What does your state constitution say? No, really, what it say?
For real. State constitutions which allow counties or municipalities to enact ordinances without the legislature's permission are said to provide home rule authority. In the United States, home rule refers to the authority of a constituent part of a U.S. state to exercise power of governance delegated to it by its state government, in some states known as home rule states. The state's constitution grants municipalities and or counties the ability to pass laws to government. New Jersey, for example, provides for home rule. A state which is a Dillon's rule state, but which also allows for home rule in specified circumstances, applies to Dillon's rule to matters or governmental units where home rule is not specifically authorized. Governing bodies. The nature of both county and municipal government varies not only between states, but also between different counties and municipalities within them. Local voters are generally free to choose the basic framework of government from a selection established by state law. In most cases, both counties and municipalities have a governing council, governing in conjunction with a mayor or president. Alternatively, the institution may be of the council manager government form, run by a city manager under direction of the city council. In the past, the municipal commissions was also common. The ICMA, International City County Management Association, is an association representing professionals in local government management. It is based in Washington, D.C., USA. Has classified local governments into 5 common forms: mayor, council, council manager, council manager, commission, town meeting, and representative town meeting. In addition to elections for a council or mayor, elections are often held for positions such as local judges, the sheriff, prosecutors, and other offices. Indian reservations. While their territory normally falls within the boundaries of individual states, Indian reservations actually function outside of state control. The reservation is usually controlled by an elected tribal council, which provides local services.
One more time, because I could swear you got people out here telling you that the Indian reservations are controlled by the state. So one more time.
While
I heard that right.
While their territory normally falls within the boundaries of individual states, Indian reservations actually function outside of state control. The reservation is usually controlled by an elected tribal council, which provides local services.
Does that mean that Indians basically deal with the federal government?
Yep.
Aha.
Yep. Census of local government. A census of all local governments in the country is performed every 5 years by the United States Census Bureau in accordance with 13 USC 161. Governments in the United States, not including insular areas. Type and number. Federal. Okay, type federal, 1. State. Type state, 50. Type county, 3,034. Type municipal, city, town, village, 19,429. Township, in some states called towns, 6,504. School districts, 13,506. Special purpose, utility, fire, police, library, etc., 35,052. Total in all, 87,576. That doesn't even seem like a lot once you see it in numbers. No,
that's a whole lot of laws to have to know by heart if you say you know law.
Yeah, because I mean, if you just go off the states, it's 50. But when you start hitting the breakdown after okay, you've got federal, then you've got state, okay. But when you hit county, you've got 3,034 different counties within the United States. Municipalities, which is city, town, and villages, that's 19,429. Townships, because states have municipalities, townships, you have 16,504. School districts, 13,506. Special purposes, utility, fire, police, library, etc., 35,000. Yeah, man.
That's a whole lot of constitution and bylaws to claim that you know law.
That's a lot of overlapping too. So yeah, nah.
There's no person alive that knows all 87,576 different constitutions and bylaws and law. I'm not even gonna entertain that.
They must be connected to Google
at all times.
Yep. Note, municipalities are any incorporated places such as cities, towns, villages, boroughs, etc. Note, New England towns and towns in New York and Wisconsin are classified as civil townships for census purposes. Example in individual states. The following sections provide details of the operations of local government in a selection of states by way of example of the variety that exists across the country.
Oh, so now you're finna see how different all these areas have different governments that people be claiming that they know law.
Alaska. Alaska calls its county equivalents boroughs, functioning similarly to counties in the lower 48. However, unlike any other state, not all of Alaska is subdivided into county equivalent boroughs. owing to the state's low population density, most of the land is contained in what the state terms the unorganized borough, which, as the name implies, has no intermediate borough government of its own, but is administered directly by the state government. Many of Alaska's boroughs are consolidated city-borough governments. Other cities exist both within organized boroughs and unorganized boroughs.
So that means some places in Alaska, it's strictly state and federal law.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't have time. I mean, didn't we just read that, one of their towns or cities has one person?
Yep.
They said, like, we ain't doing this. No, we're just gonna keep it simple. California. California has several different and overlapping forms of local government. Cities, counties, and the one consolidated city county can make ordinances, local laws, including the establishment and enforcement of civil and criminal penalties. The entire state is subdivided into 58 counties, ergo Los Angeles County. And that's, man, look, you exit out of LA County, go into another county, and then go right back into LA County. I'm just saying.
But the next line lets you know why Los Angeles is tricky the way it is with the laws.
Right. The only type of municipal entity is the city, ergo Los Angeles. Although cities may either operate under general law or a custom draft charter, California has never had villages, never really used townships. They were for surveying and judicial purposes only, and allows cities to call themselves towns if they wish. But the name town is purely cosmetic with no legal effect. As a result, California has several towns with large population in the tens of thousands and several cities that are home to only a few hundred people. Several cities that are, okay.
All right, I'm back. Had a call come through.
Oh, no, you're fine. California cities are granted broad plenary powers under the California Constitution to assert jurisdiction over just about anything, and they cannot be abolished or merged without the consent of a majority of their inhabitants. For example, Los Angeles runs its own water and power utilities and its own elevator inspection department, while practically all other cities rely on private utilities and the state elevator inspector. This is true. San Francisco is unique in that it is the only consolidated city county in the state.
So they only got one city county in a whole state.
Yep. The city of Lakewood pioneered the Lakewood Plan, a contract under which a city reimburses a county for performing services which are more efficiently performed on a county-wide basis. Such contracts have become very popular throughout California and many other states, as they enable city governments to concentrate on particular local concerns like zoning. A city which contracts out most of its services, particularly law enforcement, is known as a contract city.
Got a couple of those around here to where other cities' police department basically enforce the laws.
And that's based off their size, right? If they don't have, if they have the small numbers. Okay, got you.
Mm-hmm.
There are also thousands of special districts, which are areas with a defined territory in which specific service is provided, such as schools for fire stations. These entities lack plenary power to enact laws, but do have the power to promulgates administrative regulations that often carry the force of law within land directly controlled by such districts.
Like a school lockdown.
Yeah.
The school can basically tell everyone you can't come in here.
Mm-hmm. Many special districts, particularly those created to provide public transportation or education, have their own police departments. Ergo, Bay Area Rapid Transit District, BART Police, and Los Angeles Unified School Districts, Los Angeles School Police.
Ain't that something? The schools, how many people knew that? The schools out there have their own police departments.
Yeah, they do.
But people know law.
The District of Columbia. The District of Columbia is unique within the United States in that it is under the direct authority of the U.S. Congress, rather than forming part of any state. Actual government has been delegated under the District of Columbia Home Rule Act to a city council, which effectively also has the powers given to county or state governments in other areas. Under the act, the Council of the District of Columbia has the power to write laws as a state's legislator would, moving the bill to the mayor to sign into law. Following this, the United States Congress has the power to overturn the law.
So I guess you can quote whatever you want in DC, but Congress got the last word, huh?
Mm-hmm. Say what you want. Georgia. The state of Georgia is divided into 159 counties.
Oh, this gonna be good.
The largest number of any state other than Texas, each of which has had home rule since at least 1980. This means that Georgia's constitution not only acts...
No, counties, Georgia counties.
What did I say?
Constitution.
My bad. Okay. This means that Georgia's counties not only act as units of state government, but also in much of the same way as municipalities.
That's why I told you, come down here driving, thinking that you're going to show them some paperwork. That don't work here. All these counties are basically state governments that will their own power. Come down to Georgia playing.
All municipalities are classed as a city, regardless of population size.
Come down here now, Cletus.
For an area to be For an area to be
playing. That's all I'm saying.
For an area to be incorporated as a city, special legislation has to be passed by the General Assembly state legislature. Typically, the legislation requires a referendum amongst local voters to approve incorporation to be passed by a simple majority. This most recently happened in 2005 and in 2006 in several communities near Atlanta. Sandy Springs, a city of 85,000 bordering the north side of Atlanta, incorporated in December 2005. 1 year later, Johns Creek, 62,000 people, and Milton, 20,000 people incorporated, which meant that the entirety of North Fulton County was now municipalized.
Think about it. Right through here, you have 159 counties that have 159 different constitutions and bylaws. Play with it.
The General Assembly also approved a plan that would potentially establish 2 new cities in the remaining unincorporated portions of Fulton County, south of Atlanta, South Fulton, and Chattahoochee Hills. Chattahoochee Hills voted to incorporate in December 2007. South Fulton voted against incorporation and is the only remaining unincorporated portion of Fulton County.
Definitely don't go there. You think it's bad in the incorporated areas. Okay.
Let us free. City charters may be revoked either by the legislature or by a simple majority referendum of the city's residents. The latter
who can terminate a city here? Who?
Legislature or by a simple majority referendum of the city's residents.
Oh, okay.
The latter last happened in 2004 in Lithia Springs. Revocation by the legislature last occurred in 1995 when dozens of cities were eliminated en masse for not having active governments or even for not offering at least 3 municipal services required of all cities. New cities may not incorporate land less than 3 miles, 4.8 kilometers, from an existing city without approval from the General Assembly. The body approved all of the recent and upcoming creations of new cities in Fulton County. 4 areas have a consolidated city-county government: Columbus since 1971, Athens since 1991, and Augusta since 1996, and Macon, which was approved by voters in 2012.
In the end, don't come to Georgia with that foolishness. And folks will hide you.
Man, look. Hawaii is the only U.S. state that has no incorporated municipalities. Instead, it has 4 counties, one of which is the consolidated city-county of Honolulu. All communities are considered to be census-designated places, with the exact boundaries being decided upon by cooperative agreement between the governor's office and the U.S. Census Bureau. Kalawao County is the second smallest county in the United States and is often considered part of Maui County. Louisiana. In Louisiana, counties are called parishes. Likewise, the county seat is known as the parish seat. The difference in nomenclature does not reflect a fundamental difference in the nature of government, but it is rather a reflection of the state's unique status as a former French and Spanish colony, although a small number of other states once had parishes too. Maryland. Maryland has 23 counties. The state constitution charters the city of Baltimore as an independent city, which is the functional equivalent of a county and is separate from any county. Ergo, there is also a Baltimore County, but its county seat is in Townsend, not in the city of Baltimore. Other than Baltimore, all cities are the same, and there is no difference between a municipality called a city or a town. Cities and towns are chartered by the legislature. North Carolina. North Carolina has 100 counties and the 7th highest number in the country. The North Carolina Council of Government, or the Regional Council of Government, are voluntary associations of county and municipal governments established by the North Carolina General Assembly in 1972 that serves as an avenue for local governments across North Carolina to discuss issues that are particular in their region. In banding together at the regional level, the voice of one community becomes the voice of many, thus providing a better opportunity for those issues to be addressed. Today, the majority of citizens and local governments in North Carolina are represented by regional councils, making them an increasingly important facet of local government operations. Today, North Carolina calls itself home to 16 regional councils of government. Regional councils in North Carolina are committed to working together. In 2010, the 17 regional councils existing at that time signed an inter-regional cooperative agreement that established a policy to enhance their value by sharing member resources and capacity to deliver services to the state of North Carolina. This agreement also endorses regional councils to carry out activities in regions outside their boundaries with consent with those services are to benefit the region and the state. Regional boundaries correspond to county borders. Regional boundaries correspond to county borders, with each council being made up of both county and municipal governments. Although the number of regional councils in North Carolina has decreased over the years, the number of citizens served by the councils continues to rise. As of 2007, it is reported that the number of local governments served by regional councils in North Carolina has increased by 16% since 1994. Throughout this same time period, the number of citizens served by regional councils has increased by 35%, or approximately 2.3 million. This equates to 92% of local governments and 97% of all North Carolina citizens being represented by regional councils as of July 1st, 2007. Okay. Appreciate you, Bones. Shout out to you, Bones. Appreciate
No
you.
problemo. But it shows you when you understand how your state is ran, see how it clears up how a lot of things move and why a lot of things happen in a particular way.
Yes, it does. Absolutely, it does. But I don't know law. I'll deal with someone who's licensed and went to school for it.
I know. I shouldn't recommend them, but there's some people on YouTube that say they know it.
Heck.
Hey.
No.
Hey.
You almost made me. I almost had to contribute to this.
Oh, so you're saying we shouldn't listen to the people that say they know law?
Nope.
On YouTube?
Nope.
But they do classes.
Nope.
They do classes online.
No. Fishbowl classes.
Might be right.
Nope.
I'm just trying to make sure that I'm listening to some legit information. So you're saying there's no lawyers on YouTube?
If there are lawyers on YouTube, the actual lawyers that I've heard say stuff on YouTube, they also say, look, not only am I not going to tell you what to do, if you got an issue, get a lawyer.
So there's no lawyer specific to our people on YouTube right now that we should be. Okay, I'm not gonna keep going there. I got you. I understand. Consult a lawyer, like a real one. Got you.
Like a real one, a real life lawyer. Okay, Pennsylvania. Don't be listening to them people on YouTube saying they know law. Man. Just walking out your front door, you could be walking out under 6 different layers. Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has 67 counties, with the exception of Pennsylvania and Allegheny County. Counties are governed by 3 to 7 county commissioners who are elected every 4 years. The district attorney, county treasurer, sheriff, and certain classes of judges of election are also elected separately. Philadelphia has been a consolidated city county since 1854 and has had a consolidated city county government since 1952. Allegheny County has had a council chief executive government since 2001, while still retaining its township, boroughs, and cities. Each county is divided into municipal corporations, which can be one of four types: cities, boroughs, townships, and incorporated towns. The Commonwealth does not contain any unincorporated land that is not served by a local government. However, the U.S. Postal Service has given names to places with townships that are not incorporated separately. For instance, King of Persia is a census designated place. Oh, that's a place in, okay. That's okay. Okay. Having no local government of its own. It is rather contained within Upper Marion Township, governed by Upper Marion's supervisors and considered to be part of the township. Townships are divided into two classes, depending on their population size and density. Townships of the first class have a board made up of five to 15 commissioners who are elected either at large or for a particular ward to 4-year terms, while those of the second class have a board of 3 to 5 supervisors who are elected at large to 6 terms. Some townships have adopted a home rule charter, which allows them to choose their form of government. One example is Upper Darby Township in Delaware County, which has chosen to have a mayor-council system similar to that of a borough. Boroughs in Pennsylvania are governed by a mayor-council system in which the mayor has only a few powers, usually that of overseeing the municipal police department, if the borough has one. While the borough council has very broad appointment and oversight, the council president, who is elected by the majority party every 2 years, is equivalent to the leader of a council in the United Kingdom. His or her powers operate within boundaries set by the state constitution and the borough's charter. A small minority of the boroughs have dropped the mayor-council system in favor of council-manager system, in which the council appoints a borough manager to oversee the day-to-day operations of the borough. As in the case of townships, a number of boroughs have adopted home rule charters. One example is State College, which retains the mayor-council system that it had as a borough. Bloomsburg is the Commonwealth's only incorporated town. McCandless Township in Allegheny County calls itself a town, but it officially remains a township with a home rule charter. Cities in Pennsylvania are divided into 4 classes: Class 1, Class 2, Class 2A, and Class 3. Class 3 cities, which are the smallest, have either a mayor-council system or a city manager system, or have a council manager system like that of a borough, although the mayor or city manager has more oversight and duties compared to their borough counterparts. Pittsburgh and Scranton are the state's only Class 2 and Class 2A cities, respectively, and have mayors with some veto power, but are otherwise still governed mostly by their city councils. Philadelphia is the Commonwealth's only Class 1 city. It has a government similar to that of the Commonwealth itself, with a mayor with strong appointment and veto powers, and a 17-member city council that has both lawmaking and confirmation powers. Wow. Certain types of legislative have certain types of legislation that can be passed by the city government require state legislation before coming into force. Unlike the other cities in Pennsylvania, the Pennsylvania city government also has oversight of county government, and as such controls the budget for the district attorney, sheriff, and other county offices that have been retained from the county's one-time separate existence. These offices are elected for separately than those of the city government proper. Wow. Texas. Texas has 254 counties, the most of any state. Each county is governed by a 5-member commissioners court, which consists of a county judge elected at large and 4 commissioners elected from single-member precincts. The county judge has no veto authority over the decisions of the court. He or she has 1 vote along with the other commissioners. In smaller counties, the county judge also performs judicial functions, while in larger counties, his or her role is limited to the court. Elections are held on a partisan basis. Counties have no home rule authority. Their authority is strictly limited by the state. They operate in areas which are considered unincorporated, those parts not within the territory of a city. Texas does not have townships. Unless the city has contracted with the county for essential services. In plain English, Texas counties merely exist to deliver specific types of services at the local level as prescribed by state law, but cannot enact or enforce local ordinances. Oh, wow.
Counties have no say-so over the cities.
Yeah,
Texas.
wow.
See how I keep telling people? People keep telling you they know law. They better double check that, because it don't work the same way every place you go.
As one textbook produced for use in Texas schools has openly acknowledged, Texas counties are prone to inefficient operations and are vulnerable to corruption for several reasons. First, most of them do not have a merit system, but operate on a spoils system. What is that?
Rewards.
Okay.
Keep what you get.
A spoiled system. A spoiled
To
system.
the victor goes the spoils.
Spoils. Got you. Okay.
Got
you. So spoil system. That's so that many county employees obtain their positions through loyalty to a particular political party and commissioner rather than whether they actually have the skills and experience appropriate to their positions. Second, most counties have not centralized purchasing into a single procurement department, which would be able to seek quantity discounts and carefully scrutinize bids and contracts awards for unusual patterns. Third, in 90% of Texas counties, each commissioner is individually responsible for planning and executing their own road construction and maintenance program for their own precinct, which results in poor coordination and duplicate construction machinery. All incorporated municipalities are technically considered cities. Even though the municipality may refer to itself as a town or village, cities may be either general law or home rule. Once a city reaches 5,000 in population, it may submit a ballot petition to create a city charter and operate under home rule status. They will maintain that status even if the population falls under 5,000 and may choose its own form of government, weak or strong, mayor, council, commission, council, manager. Otherwise, the city operates under general law. Those cities have only these powers authorized by the state. Annexion policies are highly dependent on whether the city is general law. Annexation can only occur with the consent of the landowners. Or home rule. No consent is required, but if the city fails to provide essential services, the landowners can petition for de-annexation. And city boundaries can cross county ones. And city boundaries can cross county ones. The city council can be elected either at large or from single member districts. Houston uses a 2-layer single member district structure, or a mixture of the two. Ballots are on a nonpartisan basis, though generally the political affiliation of the candidates is commonly known. With the exception of the Stafford Municipal School District, all 1,000 plus school districts in Texas are independent school districts. State law requires 7 trustees, which can be elected either at large or from single member districts. Ballots are nonpartisan. Although Texas law allows for home ruled school districts, no district has applied to become such. The Texas Education Agency, TEA, has state authority to order closure and consolidation of school districts, generally for repeated failing performances. The former Wilmer Hutchins Independent School District was an example of a failing district closed by TEA. Oh, wow. In addition, state law allows the creation of special districts, such as hospital districts or water supply districts. All of these districts are governed by state law. There is no home rule option. Texas does not provide for independent cities nor for consolidated city council governments. However, local governments are free to enter into interlocal agreements with other ones, primarily for efficiency purposes. A common example is for cities and school districts in a county to contract with the county for property tax collection. Thus, each resident receives only one property bill. Virginia. Virginia is divided into 95 counties and 38 cities. All cities are independent cities, which means that they are separate from and independent of any county they may be near or within. Cities in Virginia, thus, are the equivalent of counties, as they have no higher local government intervening between them and the state government. The equivalent in Virginia to what would normally be an incorporated city in any other state, ergo a municipality subordinate to a county, is a town. For example, there is a county of Fairfax, as well as a totally independent city of Fairfax, which technically is not part of Fairfax County, even though the city of Fairfax is the county seat of Fairfax County. Within Fairfax County, however, is the incorporated town of Vienna, which is part of Fairfax County. Similar names do not necessarily reflect relationships. Franklin County is far from the city of Franklin, while Charles City is an unincorporated community in Charles City County, and there is no city of Charles.
That didn't get you twisted.
Man, yeah. Man. All right. Other states. Local government in Connecticut, administrative division of Massachusetts, local government in New Hampshire, local government in New Jersey, local government in New Mexico, administrative division of New York, Administrative divisions of Wisconsin. See also Home Rule, partial list of Chapter 9 bankruptcies of the United States, urban politics in the United States.
Oh, that's a future one coming.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's basically all the information on.
Yeah, my mouse kind of strolled over urban politics in the United States real quick.
Yeah, that's gonna be a deep one. That might be a weak one.
And that's gonna be a doozy.
So, as we went through local governments, any feedback or any thoughts from the panel on what we went over?
Any thoughts? Yeah. Better learn about your state and your city and your town and your borough and your.
Wait, when you say learn, what do you mean? You got to learn like all of the laws and all of the codes and all that stuff?
No. I mean, learn where you at.
Oh, okay.
On my city, on my borough.
I mean, what type
on
of
my parish? I feel good.
Is your city or town?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't know what form it is, and you're going there complaining, 10 out of 10, you're complaining to the wrong people. Especially if you have no idea what type of government setup you even have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hold up. So if somebody want to go like straight to the top, they probably shouldn't. They should check.
That sounds like a Drake song.
I'm just saying, there's some people want to go straight to the top with complaints. I'm just saying.
And again, it doesn't matter because your complaint, does it go to that department? If it don't, then hey. That's like complaining to the electric company about my water bill. That ain't gonna work.
I know I can't say, Bones, look, I got this issue over here, or this is what I want to do over here, and you're in another state and you're like, oh yeah, it's the same here. This is what I did, you do exactly what I did, and you're good. You do that.
That's pretty much what the online learning seems to be. I did this in my situation, it's gonna work for you. Oh, you didn't do it right.
Wrong.
Man,
you didn't do it right, even though you did everything right.
You get what, man?
Somewhere in there, I don't know if you got like a piece of hair in there or something, but you did it wrong. Somewhere
over the rainbow.
We was at that common law discussion before. What's common law in my city is not common law in your city. It does not work that way. What you can do in your area, there's completely different laws and regulations in someone else's.
Exactly.
Sometimes just by leaving your district, the laws are completely changed. I mean, you see it even when you drive it. Certain towns got faster speed limits than others. Different road regulations. Think about it. Up north, there's some places you can park on the side of the road and you rotate on even and odd days. Try that in the south. I promise your vehicle won't be there when you come outside. It's just something as simple as that. What I mean is, what's legal to do in New York, parking on the side of the road, down south would get your vehicle towed for illegal parking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that simple. What you pay to register your business is different from state to state. My state is $100. There's some states out there, it's $50 to start a business directly through the state.
Yep.
Well, 55.
Then if you live in a state like Florida that has no state taxes and you're setting up your business,
made a couple of calls today to find out what was setting up my business through the city and through the county, and what codes I would have to follow by the city, what was governed under the city, what was governed under the county, and what was governed under the state. Because of where I'm at.
And each area would be different.
Right.
Because of here, our cities are basically like dealing with the state. We can deal directly with the state to set up our business, and we don't need city registration and licenses and stuff like that. Because like you even read in here, you might as well treat each city here like it got state jurisdiction over you. So speed through if you want to, again, talking about what your paperwork say. I promise you're going to jail. That's any place in the state of Georgia. If I even find a license, you go directly to jail here.
Why is y'all doing that to him?
Because he's in Georgia.
He has diplomatic immunity.
And to show you like this, the state of Florida, we bordered, Florida and Georgia bordered. Florida, you drive without a license, you get a ticket. Georgia, you do the same thing, you're going to jail. Do you hear me? Ain't no ticket, ain't no paperwork, ain't nothing to sign, you're going to jail. Same offense, cross that line, totally different outcomes.
Try it if you wanna.
Oh yeah, you don't have to take my word for it.
If you wanna.
Leave your camera on so we can see the knots. No, let me stop.
You talking about how fast they go in knots, or you talking about like the the clucked upside the head knots?
Listen, you drive through here like going crazy, yeah. I mean, again, but just going through the local government shows you how different it is from area to area. Well, we're talking about a total of 87,000. Let's just round it off to 87,000. So again, you know all rules, regulations, statutes, constitution, and bylaws for all 87,000. And not to mention, aren't constitutions and bylaws living documents, so they're forever changing?
Yep.
So how could you, how Sway? How? If they're always changing, so basically you're trying to tell us you know what it's changing to before they even change it. That what you're saying? You can't know it till they write it down and put it in a book. Let's stop playing these games. I mean, if there's nothing else to add on to local government in the United States and how it works and how different they are from area to area, even next door cities and towns, there's nothing else to add on. What'd you say? Don't sell out?
So they different?
Completely.
I'm just saying, all right. So I'm just trying to figure out why these people is online teaching people in all these different states about law.
He said what?
It's like an hour class. How are you getting all the 50 states laws in an hour class?
That's just a state law.
I'm just saying, I don't even know if they're going over state law. They're just going over law 101. Law 101.
I mean, just because people telling you federal law, that ain't gonna do you no good. Federal law is dealing with the state to state. You in the state territory.
Oh, you a state now? You could be a state.
Exactly. If you ain't a state, you got a problem.
The 52nd one.
Because the last I checked, every last one of us live in a state that has jurisdiction over that territory. It has its own constitution and bylaws. And you might live in like one of these states that I live in, where all these cities and towns basically move like the state.
I do what I want to do.
And people wonder why Georgia the way it is. read how the government works here, you'll understand why this place is the way it is. I tell people, stay out of Florida, stay out of Texas. You think it's bad here, they got something for you. Again, I mean, all jokes aside, but again, take the time out to understand the Constitution of your state and your local area. So that way you can understand how the mechanism works. Because again, how can you move forward if you don't even know how it works? You're gonna have all type of scars and band-aids. And if that's all we got, I guess it's silent time.
Salivations.
I like what James said. Or someone that's been in your state 3 days talking about they know your state's law.
You like, really? Really? You read all the municipalities and townships around here. You know all of them, huh? Even
Y'all just live out here.
Even the ones that they voted on adding but didn't make on the book yet. You even know about them, huh? Stop.
What the nearest McDonald's at though? You just got here. You know everything. Huh?
Getting that hot spot.
You couldn't just go to a Starbucks. I had to go to the Mickey D's, the new Mickey D's with the big flat screens. I got you. So you get your CNN from.
I mean, if it was really that easy, why is it even law school, y'all? Come on.
Man, why do they have so many books if it was that easy?
Law is forever changing. Constitutions are living documents.
Y'all y'all must not have signed up for one of these classes. They got a Cliff Notes for the ever-changing document that is the law, right? Is that no? I ain't gonna do that.
Even the U.S. Constitution is a growing living document. Don't they make amendments to it?
Man, look, North Carolina got 7 constitutions. They're operating under the 7th one now. I'm just saying.
I mean, they always is new technology, new changes, anything. It adapts to it, just like the business constitution will. One service go out of style, new technology come in, you make an adjustment in your constitution to adjust to the changes.
They got that 2020 law.
The year 2000 law.
New and improved just for you.
No, the way some of these cats be talking, they know 2050 law.
You know, right? That law that ain't even yet.
Yeah, it's not even on the book.
Handy dandy notebook law.
Yeah, that little
the fat crayon law.
Yeah, crayon.
That crayon bigger than your hand. What you doing with that crayon? Right with a baseball bat. What's wrong with you? Put it down.
To the dot.
We just figured out federal law. We just figured out federal law.
We just figured out federal law.
And now we're going to jail. Y'all better not do that class. I swear for Lord, y'all better not take no classes on YouTube about law. And these people ain't even in your state. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Yeah, please. If you want to learn law, I would advise you to take a real law class in your local area.
Man, big fact. Yeah, you want to learn law, go to law school.
Yeah, community college, all areas, they have law classes that you can take. A lot of them are free. All you have to do is just contact your local libraries and stuff, and they'll let you know. Again, please, for your sake, do not take law advice, law classes from nobody from YouTube.
Real.
Because we're going to laugh over here.
Look, they triple class majors.
I got a question. So you know how they got, all right, I'm not gonna give it away when I say it, so I'm gonna say it. Is there such a thing as turbo law? Because you know they got TurboTax where you do your own taxes.
You know what?
No, I'm just serious. Now, hold up. For real. Is there a way to do like your own law? Is that a thing? I know you can represent yourself.
Rosetta Law?
I'm about to
Rosetta Law. You listen to it in your sleep and wake up and put on.
Wait a minute. I got some questions for some people now because there has to be like a TurboTax version for law. There's that. There's got to be that, right?
No, what Jane said, Big Chief tablet laws. Invisible ink laws. Now you see me, now you don't laws.
He said the invisible ink laws. What was that? Who Framed Roger Rabbit laws? What is this? That's the Toontown laws. That's what it is.
One of these days you're gonna die laughing.
One of these days.
I'm sorry. We're supposed to be closing the show out. You salutate them. Yeah, salutate them.
Hold on. What he said? TurboTax laws by Intuit.
By Intuit.
Bought to you by Prisons Are Us.
Look, yes. I ain't into it at all. I don't want to be into it. I can say that right now. I'm not into it. TurboTax laws. The tax laws. That's just one category.
Hey, but it has law with it. There's law with it. It'll work for them.
It'll work. Yep. I downloaded that new TurboTax 2021 TurboTax laws.
Listen, they're not even gonna tell you it say TurboTax. Whatever it's gonna be Turbo Laws by Intuit. I got it.
Number 2, pencil Scranton laws.
Look, the Scantron. Look, the Abacadabra. I just look. What was that? The Who's the Man? I just put Abacadabra all the way down.
Abacadabra.
Yeah.
Really, I want to know. Please, man. There's 87,000. 87,000, man. I want to know the YouTube law code said no all 87,000.
H&R cell block. Hold up.
Hey, I heard they giving those out 2 for 1 too.
That's through our cell block law.
The H&R cell block.
What happened?
What's their slogan? It'll make you famous.
It'll make you famous, yeah. Look, he said I can do this all night. Look, we about to we might have to do this off air so we can create some LLCs. I got some entities we can create right now.
TV4.
HNRC, there you go. HNRC
TV4.
Oh man, you know what? We can't keep doing this to people. There are no classes.
Hold on. We are not doing. They doing this to themselves. Listen, I was taught if you ain't break your arm, you ain't dying. You don't need medical attention. It's funny. So I'm going to laugh.
Thank you, America's Funniest Home Videos.
So y'all keep
what are you doing?
That let me know I can laugh at y'all.
Laughing. Keep going to these YouTube lawyers. I'm gonna keep laughing.
Yep.
You want to be stupid? I'm gonna laugh at it.
Yeah, for real. Don't be. Man,
oh man.
Yeah,
you might want to talk to Mike Easton and L ASAP.
Yeah, like we keep saying, we got something for protections coming forward for the community and stuff. A presentation will be coming that a lot of people could use the service and it's very beneficial.
Yeah.
So you don't have to deal with these
internet lawyers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's disrespectful to call them lawyers. Internet. I don't know. I will come up with something. Maybe they're just law junkies. I don't know. I know now. We know law over here. That's what I hear people say. We know law over here.
Really?
Yeah, telelobbies.
Telelobbies. Oh man, y'all some lobbyists. They ain't doing nothing.
I want to know if you can go on YouTube and
Tinky Winky is Clinky Winky.
Why are these people paying all this money to go to school?
I don't know, man. I just maybe they stupid, Bones.
Well,
they must be.
All these judges and lawyers that paid all this high price money to keep going to learn law because it's forever changing, and they go back when it changes.
Working harder, not smarter.
So hold on. The YouTube lawyer got the book before the actual law teacher do?
They got the first print.
What's that? Scratch and sniff paper?
Man.
And what's the answer to these cities that have the same jurisdiction as the state that they in? What you gonna do with them?
Where are you going?
Again, all that mess sound good. Again, it sounds good, and it only looks good in the movies. There has never, matter of fact, in the history of America, that only happened one time, and that was in Wilmington. And it was the government overthrowing us. I don't know. It's looking bad, y'all. It's looking bad. Matter of fact, has any of them YouTube lawyers ever won a case?
Not one that they can prove.
I
mean, that's all like them private courts.
I think those YouTube lawyers said they got cases. They got still going on, but I don't think they said that they figured out anything yet.
They ain't going nowhere, but got suits and cases.
Oh, so they packing. They move.
You stay packing when you won't. Let me hush. Oh, new advertising came across my desk. Coming soon, new television show coming near you. Order in law. Brought to you by Michael Brown Harris Cheek and Associates. Get you in contact with a real lawyer, with your YouTube lawyer, jam you up.
Got your ass, Charles.
Got him.
Man, oh man.
I think that we're gonna get me a couple more hate letters.
Probably.
Hey, who knows? Maybe this time they'll find the right picture of the right person to put on YouTube. I'm just saying.
Right? Like, that's him. Him right there. No, it's not.
Nope.
It's not him.
Nope. You
Okay.
what? You lost.
And then the funny thing about it is when a person try to argue up and down that is you.
You know what? That's when you got to turn yourself in. You know what? Something's wrong. I got to go to a place that can help me because this is not right. I'm looking right at myself in the mirror. I got my wife here. I'm looking at wedding photos. This is all right. This is not.
I didn't mention all these other people that's looking at me that I done met, but yeah.
I just shook hands with somebody that claimed to know me yesterday. I got to turn them in too. I'm gonna turn myself in, y'all. Clearly, I'm not who I say I am.
Yeah.
There's a bomb on the bus. This is a whole bunch of action movies mixed into one. I got to turn myself in.
On that dude that's playing the dude that forgot he was playing the dude that was playing the dude.
That's playing the dude.
He came home as that character, just never snapped out of it. I don't know.
Well, dude said they got that touch me, tease me cases.
Oh man. What's these?
They got the 1-800 we ain't answering numbers. Listen, you do better with my cousin Vinny than one of them. Yeah, I'm talking about the character.
The character, exactly. The entire from beginning to end character, even if it would put you in jail at the beginning. Like, all right, go to jail. Your lawyer sucks. Trial over. Case over. 2 youths.
2 what?
Sweet life.
Don't even make it that far.
You heard me say that. I said that. This mic is good.
Well, you're honored to the proclamation of this and that and that. Get him out of here.
You going to jail, under the jail.
Go ahead and pull that
Still waiting on the
blanket up
precedent
over there.
cases. I'm still waiting on them.
Not gonna happen.
200 miles per hour
still be
on
typing it.
95. 200 miles per hour on 95. You get stopped and they let you go.
No, give them a chance. They might be still typing it up in a PDF.
You know, walking up courthouse with a loaded gun and they just let you pass through. You
Man,
know,
look, I don't care what nobody say. I don't care.
Wait a minute. If you can have a loaded weapon, aren't you able to have a camera
I would
as
say,
well? I mean, what's more dangerous, the loaded weapon or the camera? I mean, if you're allowed to take that, you should record yourself doing that. I'm just saying, I don't know, man. You want people to be like you or follow in your footsteps? You should be able to do that.
Double cousin, you are exactly right. That is really, really smart. They should record themselves doing that.
Or doing all the things that they say they're gonna do.
They should live stream themselves.
Things your man won't do.
They do not want the world to see them like Willie Lump Lump on air.
You remember Tom and Jerry? He used to get clucked in the head. He used to try to push down the knot.
I don't want to fight no more.
Oh man.
Jump aside real quick for this statement. Please, anybody, don't believe that. If you believe that you can walk in a courthouse in 2020 in the United States of America with a loaded weapon, I'm finna sell you back everything in your house.
Man.
Call me after the show. Call me after the show. Listen, I'm finna sell you everything you already own if you believe that.
I need an inventory of what you got. So I
don't even need to know what you got. I'm gonna sell it back to you.
Oh, you just gotta give them a round number? I got you.
Mm-hmm. Even though you get your stuff, you send me this and you can keep your stuff. If you believe you can run up and man.
Yeah, I thought that was a bad joke until I realized it wasn't. But it is a bad joke.
Shout out to the full moon tonight. It looked super duper fake and holographic. Just sitting there over the beach. It's huge.
Well, I guess we done made enough laughs at them until they want to get on YouTube and somebody try it again.
Yeah, y'all. Try not to get hemmed up out there. That's my salutation for tonight. Please try not to get hemmed up thinking
I'm gonna laugh.
You can listen to somebody who thinks they know what they're talking about.
They're gonna laugh at you.
Who you talking about, the inmates? Yeah. Oh man. No, you did that too? Yeah, we got a group. We got a group here, people who did that.
Y'all all did it together?
We was individuals. Now we participate in the census.
Setting up businesses, man.
Right? I don't know if you can do that without going to your local government, but I'm gonna go on mute.
And we can go ahead and let the relatives go. We done had enough fun. Tomorrow, I know they'll have some more comedy for us.
Salivations. Peace to the panel, peace to the chat, peace to the silent majority. Stay alert, pay attention. Don't be following behind YouTube personalities that know law and haven't been to law school, don't have a law degree from a real law school. Just saying. With that being said, shout out to you, Double Cousin, for these wise words. Appreciate you. Humility will teach you knowledge. Arrogance will teach you ignorance. If you think you know it all, you have learned nothing. Peace to the panel, peace to the chat, peace to the silent majority.
Mic check.
1 2 1 2.
Two.
Let me heard. Questions, comments, concerns, and/or corrections. We are on the other end of that email address, autonomousAssembly@gmail.com. Check out the website. Check out the forums for any of the information you've ever heard on any of the channels. It's up there. And so sign up for the forum so you can have access to all of that. Yeah, you got a Zoom link. I say this every day. We have a Zoom dial-in number. Leads to the same place. That's where we at. If you have any questions for us or statements, comments, whatever, that's where we at. Peace, y'all.
Alrighty, thanks again, Gabrielle and No Sellout, for the work that you put in to make the show what it is. Also, thank the active chat and the silent majority, because again, it takes all three parties coming together to make this possible. And again, more information that's very important for our communities. It's in our best interest to understand how local government works. So moving forward, we know how we can maneuver in this system. We know the proper channels to go to get things done. And it gives us the information so we can stay away from the cons and the scams that's in the community, that's likely to get you jammed up and taken away from your family or cost you some time and freedom because someone wants to make a quick dollar instead of being honest and doing it the American Indian way. So again, continue finding out what programs that you can access today to make tomorrow better. Continue working on your genealogy. So therefore you can know who you are and no one can ever tell you who you are not. And until we link up to the next live stream, remember we love you and peace.
Peace, everybody.
Peace, y'all. Children's in the house.
I go to bed.
I'm just here to make you think that I'm old enough to stay up tonight.
Hey, they probably know more about real law than the YouTube wannabes.
Don't do. Oh man, I almost got.
I'm finna mute us on air before we get ourselves in trouble. We going, y'all.
Please do.